Hey everybody, this is Skeet!
I am Mush and Mikey,
Rock and Roll Roundtable!
proudly presented by our good friends at Mushman Media.
This week, hot and cold.
Yeah, not your typical episode. This was one I came up with as listening to a classic rock station, and they were doing a double play or whatever, double shot, whatever of the same band. They do two songs, and they whipped out "Cold as Ice" and "Hot Blooded" by Foreigner back to back, and he made a remark about, well, there's some hot and cold for you. And I thought, you know what? I wonder how many songs in reality. Because then I started thinking of other songs. I'm like, okay, Too Hot to Handle back with UFO and stuff like that. How many bands have them in their title, hot or cold? And it was amazing to find out how many there are. And I got a list of, I have my own, but I found a list on the internet that listed 100 of each, which is
Oh
a
my
lot.
god.
Now this spans, dance music, it's pop, all this stuff, and it's really popular in the pop world because usually they're talking about a man or a woman that they think's good looking, like hot, this and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of other songs that are in this. I mean, I can read. I'll go down the list when I got a chance here with some of these. And there was songs like from the '70s that I remembered, like Hot Stuff was Donna Summer. That was like a big
Okay.
disco hit for
Yeah.
her. Then we get into like the dance club of my early 20s, maybe late 20s at the with Nelly. You remember it's getting hot in here. So take off
Yeah. Yeah.
clothes. Yeah. That was one. Buster Poindexter, that guy David
Yeah.
Johansen,
Hot,
he had the
hot,
big
hot. Yep.
hot, hot, hot. That was another one. Hot blooded, as I said. I mean, I'm not gonna read them all because a lot of them I'd never even heard the song, so I just won't go there. But Hot Legs, that was a Rod
Oh yeah.
Stewart classic back in the day. It's like, yeah, I like that song. I remember when that was hot. That was a big deal. Some Like It Hot. That was,
There you go.
a power station staple. That was a good one. Of course, the classic Van Halen, Hot for Teacher.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, rolling right along. There was Hot Fun in the Summertime. That was way back in the Sly and the Family Stone era.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's like there's a lot of these that it just kind of brought back. And a lot of it, like I said, there's 5 seconds of summer, Tony Braxton kind of stuff. A lot of country does that. Rap, all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to get past a lot of that. Hot Child in the City. That was one of my songs when I was young. That
Yeah.
as far as I remember, he was like a one-hit wonder. Old Nick Gilder, Hot Child, and I mean
Yeah.
it's a catchy tune though. They got anything from Jay-Z's got a hot song. Hot and Nasty was one I didn't know, but I actually got encouraged. I said, I'm gonna look that up by the band Humble Pie. It's kind of
Okay.
a different song. It wasn't bad. Hot in the City. That's a Billy Idol song that I don't remember, but it's a Billy Idol. Too Hot to Trot. I do remember that. That was Commodores back in the day. Commodore. Here's one of my favorites that's got the word hot actually. Hot Girls in Love. I love that Lover
Okay.
Boy.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I love the Lover Boy era from the early '80s. They had it going on, so I dug that. Rolling Stones have one called "She Was Hot." I don't know that one. "Looking Hot" by my wonderful No Doubters. No Doubt had that song. Yeah, it's been a while. The Cure also did "Hot, Hot, Hot," and there's like I think three bands that have that. So
Okay.
I don't know if the Arrows is another band that had "Hot, Hot, Hot." Was that the original? Because it sounds like that's an older band. I don't know. And maybe they're not even, maybe I didn't listen to it, so maybe it's not even the same. But it's just weird that it would be hot, hot, hot like that. So, One Hot Minute by the Chili Peppers.
Okay.
I mean, Chili Peppers got that funkadelic stuff. I could see them using the word hot a lot. Hot Love by T Rex. Hot Stuff by Rolling Stones. They like the word hot, I guess. Rolling Stones uses it a few times. Hot Time in the City Tonight. That was a classic from our Canadian friends, Triumph, back in.
Okay.
Hot Summer by Montrose. I was a Montrose guy, but I don't remember. I remember the staples of Montrose, but that's a song you had. What else do we got? The Kid is Hot Tonight by the aforementioned Loverboy.
Yeah,
So
Loverboy.
well, you got to think the early '80s. All these guys were talking about women. So it's only this one was not, but it was like I'm hot, I'm on fire, I'm macho, you got it going on. It's kind of what we call stud or whatever. It means
Yeah. Yeah.
you're hot, you get that stuff going on. There's some that I don't have any clue about. Get It While It's Hot was a Kicks. Kicks had that song. I
I remember
remember
that. Yes, I do. I
now.
do remember that.
Hot and Cold. Yeah, one of the episode name by the Mighty Kiss. Like Kiss had some that were close too, like Hotter Than Hell, but it wasn't hot. It
Yeah.
wasn't listed on here, but it's like that's pretty close. Hot Girl by Santana. Hot Night in a Cold Town by John Cougar Mellencamp.
Okay.
Hot Freaks by the local band for us, Guided by Voices.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was Hot Freaks,
Nice.
yes.
Nice.
Hot as Ice, which makes zero sense, but it would make sense because it's a Britney Spears song. So, Hot as Ice. Unless you're using some of what the hell they call that? Ice that burns the shit out of you. I can't
Oh,
remember
icy
the name of
hot.
it. No, no, no. It's like, it looks like snow. I used to use it at my job, and I can't remember for the hell of me what it's called now. Damn it, it's going to drive me nuts. It's
Dry
kind of like
ice.
dry
Dry
ice.
ice.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Hot Air Balloon is a newer song by Owl City. I do like some Owl City, but I don't know that one exactly.
Okay.
The Girl Got Hot. That's a Weezer
Oh,
semi-classic. Weezer
nice.
semi-classic. Some bands from Hot Girl. That's Snoop Dogg. You got to have those. There's a lot of those. One of the bigger ones, really, the song I was surprised it was so far down on this list was "Hot Dog" by Led Zeppelin. Yeah, Led Zeppelin had that. It's the hot dog. It really, I don't think it actually goes into saying that a bunch, but yeah, it's. I can't remember which album that's off, but it's pretty early. Oh, what else do we got here? A bunch of people I don't know, but there's one White Heat, Red Hot by Judas Priest. That's
Oh,
a got to be an old song. That has to be way back. Oh, what else do we have? Red Hot by Motley Crue.
yeah.
That's a pretty big one. And there's just so much. Get It Hot. That's an AC/DC song. That's another one on there.
Yep. Yep.
Red Hot Moon. That's Rancid. I don't know the song, but I know Rancid pretty well. Hot Girls by NXS. Makes sense. They sang about a lot of that stuff. Oh, what else? I know there was another one I'm missing, and I can't remember it. Oh, ZZ Top. Hot, Blue, and Righteous. This is something you forget about. Some of the songs you just forget about until you see it again. And it's like, okay. So there's so many on here, dude. Hot to Death was an Everclear song. Not sure about that one. It's just amazing to me. And this is 100, and it's like the top 10 are all like Katy Perry, Cool in the Gang, Nelly, of course. But it's like very pop in pop music. It's extremely used. I mean, it's used a lot. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, just think of a songs. Like Red Hot wasn't even on here. So I'm assuming there's probably a million in metal,
Yeah.
rock and metal, that they're not going to find on this webpage. It's had a hit in the popular rock music,
Yeah.
mostly 80s and 90s. But yeah, that's the hot section of what I have. So I'm going to go to the Burr. The Burr. We'll go to songs with cold in it. And again, a hundred titles. And I'm sure I'm going to notice a bunch, and I'm not going to notice a bunch, but I can't. Cold as Ice would be the first one that came up to my mind.
Yeah.
The song Cold to You, the Crossfade song. I remember that because I just seen them do it not too long ago. But they've had all kinds of big hits with Cold in it, I'm sure. One of them's my boy, Adam Levine. I did in it. Maroon 5, they have a song called Cold. She's So Cold. I remember. I'm so hot for her, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones, they love the hot and cold, man. They're all over the place in here. So is Katy Perry, though. She has a song called Hot and Cold. That's one that's probably going to be used a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of these might be repeats because they do hot and cold together.
Gotcha.
There's even songs that, I mean, I hate to admit I heard a million times. Cold Hearted by Paula Abdul. How many
Okay.
times do we hear that in the bars? Cold Hearted Snake,
Yeah.
all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cold as Ice, I talked about with Foreigner. Bob Dylan had one, Cold Irons Bound. I'm not a big Bob Dylan guy. Korn. Korn has a song called Cold.
Okay.
Cold Hard Bitch. That was like a one-hit wonder that Jet. You remember Jet?
Yep.
Maybe they might have had two. Because
Yeah,
they
they
had
had a couple.
Are you gonna be my girl? And then
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
Cold Heart. I really like that song. When I seen it, I was like, oh yeah, I dig that song a lot. The Mighty Kiss is back on the list with one of the best. We've covered this song. It's Cold Gin
Gold
Time.
gin. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, I got that. Let's see. Post Malone has a song called Cold. He's a very popular guy right now. One of my favorite country songs. I don't care. People can make fun of me, but it's Cold Beer Conversation with the king of country music, Mr. George Strait.
Oh, there you go.
You can't beat that out. Yeah, that song. Crossfade, I talked about. Cold Summer was a song by Fuel. In the Cold, Cold Night by the White Stripes. Again, some of these bands I know, but I don't know the songs.
How about Long Cold Winter
Yeah.
from Cinderella?
Cinderella. Yep. There you go. I don't even know if that's on the list. I haven't looked at all the lists, but it might be and it might not be.
Out in the Cold. Isn't that a
Which
Judas
band is?
Priest? Out in the Cold?
I think so. Yeah, I think
That's
so.
a
I think
damn
you're
good
right.
song, really.
Yeah, there's some really good songs I'm seeing on here now. Like Five Finger Death Punch has a song called Cold. I I mean I'm a Five Finger lukewarm. I don't hate them. I don't love them. But, whatever. One of the best songs, really back in the '70s, one of the best like rock songs was Stone Cold by Rainbow. That was
Okay.
a really catchy tune.
Yeah.
That's back in the before Dio or after Dio. I can't remember which that is. We just saw the other band on here that does a song. Until the World Goes Cold. That is a Trivium song. It was actually the second song, I think, the second or third song they played when
All
we
right.
saw. So
Nice.
I knew that one a little bit. There's some of these I don't even know the bands. Well, here's one good one. Cold Fire by Rush. That's a decent song. I remember that. World So Cold. That's the Mudvayne song.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah, that. I don't know why I didn't remember that right off the bat. Another one that was sneaky good was a song called "Cold Contagious" by Gavin Rosdale and the Boys of Bush.
Oh,
I
wow.
remember that was actually. I remember it being released as a single. Yeah, so it's a good song there. Donna Summer, who had hot stuff, she also had cold love. So Donna knew how to play the temperature game back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Uh, Stone Cold Crazy. How many times have you heard that?
Yep. Yep.
Queen and Metallica. It's been done a bunch of times. Cold and Empty by Kid Rock. Here's one I think I remember, but it's not somebody I listen to. Cold Sweat, and it's by the Minister of Soul or whatever they called him, James Brown. But I remember that name. That sounds familiar. I'll have to check that out. Now, Cold Cold Heart by the original country, hardcore country guy, Hank Williams. Yeah. He sang about hearts and broken hearts and all that. Yeah. Tears for Fears, Cold. She Shook Me Cold by David Bowie. Cold Sweat by Thin Lizzy. Cold Brains by Beck. I don't think I know her a lot. Beck. I
I've
don't.
never.
I only heard the first album. Cold Day in the Sun. I do know this one. It's Foo Fighters, so I do remember that. Cold Shoulder by Garth Brooks himself. I'm a Garth Brooks closet guy. The old Garth Brooks I did listen to.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs to drunk dance to in the old clubs, Funky Cold Medina. You got to love some Tone Loc,
Oh,
man.
nice. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. One of the bands I saw over the summer and that I didn't know much about, and I listened to them for a while, was We Came as Romans. They have that song. It's a pretty popular one. Cold Like War. It's a good one. Cold Day in Hell by Parkway Drive, who is a pretty heavy Australian metalcore band.
Okay.
Skeeter's favorite band has a song called Cold as You, the Mighty Taylor Swift.
Ah, yeah.
But there is a song called World So Cold by 3 Days Grace. I remember that. I mean, 3 Days Grace, you can't really go wrong. Now, I'm trying to think if there's any more that I know for a fact.
Okay.
Cold Weather Blues, that's good old blues classic. I'm not a big blues guy, but, it's Muddy Waters, so you got to give it something. Cold Day in Hell by Gary Moore. Gary Moore was a very underrated guy. He had some great songs, but yeah, he had that. One of the most sadistic songs ever written, according to a lot of people, because of the nature of the song,
Oh,
is Cold Ethel.
Cold Ethel.
Good
Yeah.
old Alice Cooper
Alice
back in
Cooper.
the true shock rock days when he was doing that. Breaking Benjamin has a very big hit for them, So Cold. It's very good. It's just a great song. Now they got Cold Shot. Stevie Ray did the original.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
there you
Cold
go.
Shot. It's been redone by a bunch of country people. It kind of depresses me. They don't have that on this list, but they got Chris Stapleton's cover of that. That's not good. You got to have Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
I know Chris Stapleton's pretty big right now. Uh, Cold Wind to Valhalla by Jethro Tull. That
Huh.
sounds like something they would write, but I don't know that one. I'm more of an Aqualung, locomotive breath kind of guy there. I don't know. Out in the Cold. That's one I'd forgot about. Tom Petty. I remember it as I seen it and heard it. I was like, okay. Out in the Cold. Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch. There's Cold Dark World by Weezer. You got Lovers in the Cold by the Bruce Springsteen. You got Slipknot, The Cold Black. They had that. So Cold in Ireland by the great Dolores and the Cranberries. So yeah, Cold Dead Hands. This is a different one. I did not see. I've never heard this, but Cold Dead Hands is a song by the Eels with a very special guest out front, a comedian by the name of Jim Carrey. I should have to
Huh.
look that up. I should
Wow.
have to look that up. Cold as War is a Seven Dust song. I can't say that I remember that one. Stone Cold Bush. Come on, man. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers, which doesn't
Oh,
surprise.
okay.
It
Okay.
really doesn't surprise me. Now, down here in the honorable mention section, this is past the 100, by you.
Okay.
They finally put Stevie Ray Vaughan back. That's fine.
Okay.
So it's in there. Cold Shoulder by another one of my guilty pleasure bands, Culture Club. Yeah, I
Okay.
know. I know. It's in there. So there is, I mean, dude, there's so many of these songs. And I remember some and I don't remember other ones. But it's just Out in the Cold, the Judas Priest song you talked about. It is down here away on the list. Cold Hearted Man. Do you know that song?
Bye.
ACD. It's an ACDC song. I don't remember that one ever
No,
showing up.
I know Love Hungry Man.
No, this says Cold Hearted Man. Whatever. They might be wrong too. I don't know. But yeah, it's just I just seen all these Hot and Cold again from Kiss. There's The Cold Wind by Greta Van Fleet. I don't know that song. Oh, Blood Runs Cold. I do know. Def Leppard song. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember that
So
one.
Cold and Ugly. Kind of sounds like me out shoveling this morning. Cold and Ugly. That's a Tool song.
Okay.
Unbelievably. Let's see what else. I'm Feeling Cold. Cold Outside by Duff McKagan. I don't know that one. Huh. It's just, man, 100 and all together 150 songs just
Wow.
randomly on a website. And yeah, I don't listen to enough of everything to know every song that has Hot and Cold. But we did mention some ones that weren't on here. I'm
Yeah.
surprised Motley Crue wasn't on the hot side. I'm kind
Yeah.
of surprised. There's got to be. I'm sure there's more cold songs that we know that if we think about them for 5 more minutes, we'll come up with.
Yeah.
I guess the question I have to you, being from my perspective as a songwriting person, would be, why would be the fascination? What do you think's the fascination with using hot and cold? Just because it's such, it's such a widely used phrase. Is it that, or is it just because they're not talking about temperature? They're talking about like people's icy, their cold personality, or they're very good looking. It's kind of like hot and cold to me with most of these bands. It's going to be, oh, they look really good, but they're a bitch or they're an asshole. That's kind of what it would think to me. Either that or it's
It's
like sometimes things are going great. Sometimes it's a shit disaster. It's a disaster.
a lot of
It's
it.
just a weird thing.
It's two basic words that elicit a fucking emotion that people can fucking agree on.
Yeah, I
You
guess.
know, temperature is very easy to fucking to put you in the same mind frame as what the songwriter is. So I guess it's something easy that people can fucking agree on or disagree on. So
Yeah,
it's a topic thing.
it's definitely a very common used words because how many, 5 or 6, I think at least, just from going down this list, bands that used it more than once.
Yeah,
Rolling Stones, Kiss, Chili Peppers, Judas Priest. So it's like AC/DC. So all these bands, it's kind of a common element because really, you think about it, how many times a day do you see hot and cold? Every time you wash your hands.
yeah.
Yeah, every time you get a drink of water out of your kitchen sink. So it's just easy to think of. And it was weird to me, just personally, that there was this many though. I guess I just
Well,
gloss over the names of the songs sometimes.
you got two bands. You got Red Hot Chili Peppers, and you've got
Yeah,
Coldplay. I think there's a band called
true.
Cold. So
Yeah, yeah. Stupid Girl. That song, they do that song. It's a really
you
good
know what
song.
I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, it's just interesting. I mean, it's not like oh, we're changing the world with this episode, but I just found it interesting that there was so many songs that contained one or the other, and some bands use it multiple times. And I guess I just don't think of it. It's like modern day. I think all these songs were older. So I
Yeah.
don't think except for like the Katy Perry's and stuff like that. But I think, you know, maybe back in it was more common to say it. Like you see a girl, it's like, dang, she's hot, or man, that's hot. It's like now it's just for me. I'm so old. Only time I describe hot is when my food's too hot or it's too hot outside. I don't really go, "Oh, dang, that girl's hot." I just
Well,
don't do it like I used to. I might still see it and go, "Oh, that's a good looking woman." I guess the grown up kind of thing, but I can see the hot and cold. Like we back in the '80s, I remember that expression more though. Like, damn, that's cold, dude. Now it's just like, man, that's fucked up. We just don't have no
yeah.
filter anymore. We went from being the polite way of saying that's kind of not good to do to just outright saying that, dude, that's messed up. We don't use the cold as an expression as much anymore, I should say.
Well, I
Okay,
mean,
so yeah.
yeah. How long has cool been in the vernacular? That if something's
Yeah,
cool,
yeah. Yeah, that
you know,
started back in like what, the happy days when they used to say that was cool, or what they had an
yeah,
expression back then too of something that wasn't like. And then we got the '80s, you got into the
cool beans,
rad.
cool
Yeah, cool
beans.
bean.
I mean, so it's just that it's all about feeling something that
Yeah.
is felt by everybody.
It's
So
the
it's
easiest way. It's the easiest.
yes,
It's A songwriting, man. It's just like the easiest way to describe either something being really good or intense, like a fire, to being like, because they say you're cold as I, like even the foreigner songs. Hot blooded means she's really coming on to you, and she's like wanting to date you. That's kind of what I get out of the song. And then the other one's cold as ice. She don't care. She's willing to sacrifice the love. She's
yeah,
ready to move on. So it had that vernacular just in one band. They wrote two different songs about two different kind of relationship status things going on. So yeah, it's
and
just one of
it's
those
always
things.
for like two extremes, hot or
Yeah,
cold. She's either hot or
yeah.
she's cold or she's it's
You
hot or
use
cold out. What is it? Is it hot or is it cold?
Yeah, or in relationships, same way. It's like everything's
Yeah,
going great. It's hot. If it's like, oh, she's not talking to me today. She's being an ice queen. They say, she's cold to me. Cold shoulder is an expression used a
yeah,
lot. Get cold shoulder. So yeah, it was just a quirky thing, dude. You happen to catch it on a rock classic rock station, find it intriguing enough to go look up and see what's on there, and behold 100 plus smack you in the
yeah.
face.
It's fucking crazy how you could get a list of at least 100 of each
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
of
it's
something
not
basic.
not just rock and metal, but it's like, yeah, a lot of these were popular songs that I'd almost forgotten about. That it's
Yeah.
like, wow, yeah, that was a big hit for them. Even
Well,
even in the
and
'80s.
also, we're also sitting in the middle of winter, so
Yeah,
you got the cold on the mind. So it was
yeah. It's more frozen. It's frozen here, not just cold. It sucks. So yeah, definitely.
well, that was a fun one. I
Uh,
didn't
you
I
know,
didn't realize there were so many, man. That's insane.
yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be a time where we'll hear another. We'll catch a trend. Sometimes you catch the trend going on, and if we did one on the words "baby," we'd be here
Oh my
till
god.
next week. Yeah, it's like we'd have to break down the word baby into hair metal, into alternative, into because there'd be so many. And it's
Yeah.
just every other word was baby. It still is. They still use that word continuously and more in popular music, not so
Yeah.
much rock and metal, but the hair bands, they use that to death. So
Yes.
yeah, it's like I could throw a stick and hit the word baby in any hair metal song. It's just crazy. But yeah, there's always a trend,
Or
and you'll find that.
it's in the fucking lyrics. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, yeah, it's not always in the title. There's so many other people that use the words hot and cold that they don't have to be in the title. But it's same with baby.
Yeah,
There's so many songs. Everything they referred to in the '80s hair bands were baby. It wasn't never. I saw this nice looking woman say, "Hey, I saw my baby." You
yeah,
know, born to be. You're born to be my baby. And all this stuff. It's just yeah, certain keywords, and if you dive down the rabbit hole a little bit, you say, "Wow, I wonder how many songs there is." And I'm
yeah.
sure I will at some point now. How many times is the word baby mentioned in between 1980 and 1990 even? Just
Oh
go
my
to the
god,
80s.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I bet AI melts down trying to tell me that. It's like, oh, dude, give us something a little easier, would you? Because
There
it's
are
everywhere. So,
10 million references to baby in rock and roll alone.
oh, I'm sure. I am dead sure that it's not going to be a low number. I guarantee that. I don't think I ever used it. That's one thing. I don't think I ever used the word baby in any song I ever did, which really wasn't our area to use
Yeah,
the word baby. At least I don't remember it. I don't have any idea if it is or not. It's crazy.
yeah. Well, all right. Are we gonna
Oh.
wrap up this hot episode, or are we gonna let it go cold as ice?
Now this. We better hit it while it's hot, so it don't go cold. How's that?
All right. This is Skeet.
I am Mush and Mikey.
See ya.
Peace out.